Well, well, well. Here we are again. Hello, wonderful people. Connor Whitmore here again with another video for you on the Nawtystep channel. And it is time for the second video of Yearly Favourites Week 2022 as I give you my top 15 compilations in bass music of the year. A couple of rules for this video, at least 7 tracks per compilation. I think any less than that feels a bit too much like an EP in my opinion. You can have multiple compilations from one label or artist, different people involved in each compilation, different themes and whatnot, they're going for different things, and you can have remix compilations as well. I am definitely, absolutely allowing them, and we're going up here from 15 to number 1, with 15 more honourable mentions coming just before that, those which I still think are very good, and which I think you should check out if you haven't yet, but which didn't quite make the main list. Before we get going, as always, this is just my opinion, my personal picks, nothing definitive or objective here, and on that note, I want to know your picks, your favourite compilations in bass music of the year. I want to know all your thoughts, get them down below, and also what you thought on my list. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it somewhere in between? But yeah, without any further ado, here we go. My honourable mentions for the best compilations in bass of the year. I'll see you guys in a bit. Oakley dokely, hope you guys enjoyed that, saw a couple of compilations maybe that you enjoyed over the course of the year, but now we're on to the main list, and coming in at number 15 we have Knights of the Round Table Volume 5 by Disciple Round Table, which has some of the best tracks of the whole year on it, if I'm being honest, like the Yoked, the Butte Noise, the Ominous, the Viperactive, a couple others here and there that are very good as well, but god, I mean, there are just so many other tracks beyond that. Hearing it as a kind of front to back experience is a bit of a slog. I think a bit of a trim, you know, taking away a few tunes here would have put it quite a bit higher, because yeah, I think it's still very deserving of a top 15 spot, because having that many elite tracks in one compilation is quite something, I think, still. So yeah, deserving of a spot here, but could have been a lot higher if it was a bit shorter. Just saying. At number 14, we have Interim Season 6 from Interval Audio, who didn't have the most successful year overall for them in comparison with previous years, but they did still manage to come through with one of the compilations of the year, in my opinion, which we have right here. Quite an array of dubstep styles on show here, and a load of household names across the collection, across the compilation, and some fantastic tracks to go with that as well. Good collaborations in particular, I would say. So yeah, a solid collection. At number 13, we have Duplock with Black Tapes 1.0, a collective that really made itself known this year, Duplock, and here just showing the power of keeping things quite trim, concise, and to the point with the amount of tracks on show on the compilation. I think if this was like maybe 10 tracks plus, it wouldn't quite work, because the quality is quite concentrated, and that makes for a good compilation overall. You got like Turnian Sound, Mesk, Midham, Raz, those would be my picks here. But yeah, overall and generally just showcasing some of the best in 140 dubstep. There you go. At number 12, we have Outer Operators from Sinful Maze, one of the best and most savage D&B compilations of the year. It's probably my favourite kind of D&B that we get on this collection, that grungy, earthy, and also quite intricate kind of D&B production, and to get a whole compilation of that I think is just great, and especially tracks from the likes of Macca and Prismatech and Kiyu and Intercept as well, but there are loads of other good ones beyond that. So yeah, it's a good compilation. If you haven't heard it yet, please do check it out. At number 11, we have Rushdown with Rushdown 100, and you just gotta love, don't you, when a label celebrates a 100th release. Very cool to have a VIP compilation from the Colour Bass peeps, and this is one that definitely grew on me over the course of the year. I think when I first heard it, I wasn't indifferent, it was kind of edging towards that, but the more that I went back to it, the more I could identify certain VIPs and then the compilation overall that I just enjoyed quite a bit. So yeah, liked it more over time. And finishing up with a mashup is a good idea as well. I like that as a way of tying up the whole compilation. So yeah, good stuff here. After that, number 10, we have 1985 Music with Atlas 2, a far cry I think from its predecessor Atlas 1, but still pretty sick overall, thanks to tracks from the likes of Alex Perez and Ebb and Monty and Visage and Trail, which give this compilation its character and its attitude in my opinion. And there are a couple other good moments here and there beyond that. I think most others are still good, just not exceptional, which kind of shows how high their standard is, if you know what I mean. Like, for them, this compilation, not quite elite, not that great for them, but in the general context of bass music, this compilation is pretty top. So yeah, a lot of good material here, check it out if you haven't yet, and I love this label. At number 9, we have 20 Years of Underground Sonics from Critical Music, which is one of, if not the best outright D&B compilation of the year in my humble opinion. Yeah, just some very memorable material on here, whether it's Waze or Envy or Kazra or Abel or Ems and Sam Binger towards the end a little bit more. The good, I think, is drowned out just a little bit. We do get, I think, 22 tunes here, but the general quality, I think, is very good, production especially, and the best tracks, I think, do put it here deservedly in the top 10 spot, and I've enjoyed it more each time that I've gone back to it, so maybe over the course of this decade it could be one of the very best as I hear it more and enjoy it more. So yeah, it is good. Moving on, at number 8, we have Mission 02 from Vision, the youngest compilation on this list, I think. But yeah, loads of good tracks here on this comp, looking at Monuman, Subtension, Holographic, Smirk, Moitra, and quite a few as well beyond that, but it is still a little bit of a drowned out situation in terms of the ratio that we get between good and bad. There are 28 tunes here, lest we forget. I think if it had come out maybe just a little bit earlier, maybe by a month or so, I could have gotten a bit more use of those that I'm not that big on now. But still, can't deny the quality that we have here and fully deserving of its placement at number 8, given how much good we do get across the compilation. It's still quite high. Oakley Dokley, number 7, and here we have another entry from the most colourful label around, Rushdown, with Colour Bass Volume 3. And in this compilation there are standouts, no doubt, of the 20 that we get here in my opinion. For me, the AU5, the Court Zone and Alem, the Caval, the Living Proof as well, a bit more towards the end. But as a whole, listen, this compilation is just so joyous. It's so full of life, it's so feel good, fun, creative. I think if you're looking for a kind of wholesome experience, a kind of front to back listen, if you will, that's just going to keep up a certain energy and feeling for the whole thing, then you're not going to want to look any further than this one, if I'm being honest. It's just a lovely listen, so much good sound usage, so much variety, I think, as well, within colour bass and dubstep. I feel like I'm fucking riding a rainbow for the whole thing. It's beautiful, it's sumptuous, it's brilliant, and yeah, I like it a lot. Coming in at number 6, we have Printemps. I mean, I assume it's a French pronunciation of this word, Printemps. But anyway, the remixes of Printemps, the album from Clip that was dropped last year. And yeah, it was a very good year for remix compilations, this one included, as we're going to find out here and beyond in this video. But yeah, a lot of classy remixing on show with this collection, a lot of great production as well, just riveting music really, whatever the genre, whether it's house or dubstep or D&B. A lot of making use of catchy vocals that we get from the original tunes, and several here that were in my top remixes of the year that dropped a couple of days ago, or just outside. I mean, this compilation, it could have been trimmed just a little bit. I think a few of the originals here are remixed, you know, maybe one too many times, but a lot of good here. That is why it places here. At number 5, we have Enigma Dubs with the remix compilation for his album Awakening, which is for me the best album remix comp of the year in bass music of 2022. Yeah, again, the vast majority of these are just outside my top remixes list, or in there, in the thing itself. And yeah, again, also a lot of really good reworking of original vocals, and a nice thing here being that each track is remixed once, and it runs in the order of the album. I do love it when a remix compilation for an album does that. A lot of variety as well with the genre and the mood, going from hypey stuff to more melancholic stuff and everything in between. Just a lot of clever remixing on show on this compilation. I enjoy it a lot, and if you haven't checked it out yet, you should check it out. Coming in at number 4, the best house compilation I heard this year, bar none. Absolutely bar none. I can't think of another compilation that comes even remotely close. Confession and Night Bass, the album, and there is just some very, very, very catchy music here, especially right at the beginning with the opening couplet we get. 2 collaborations, AC Slater and Charmy, the 2 label heads when it comes to the labels involved here. Martin Horger and Brandon following that up. I mean, what a couplet to open up the compilation, and then beyond that you got Shift Key, you got Capozzi, you got Mysteria, loads of other good moments beyond that. Just a lot of very good stuff concentrated here into the 10 we get. Again, it's one of those where the quality is condensed. Just to see two heavyweight labels within one genre collaborating, joining forces, merging ideas. I think it would have been quite cool if they had artists from Confession and Nightbase collaborating a little bit more here, just making that a bit more of a thing to make a massive statement with this compilation, but still a good mix of artists from the different labels. And yeah, imagine if like Never Say Die and Disciple made a compilation, for example, back in the day when they were both alive. How cool that would have been. Very good that this is a thing, and good tracks on it, like I said. Top stuff. Coming in at number 3, we have my favourite 140 or OG dubstep compilation of the year, and the successor to a compilation that I've already mentioned. I heard quite a few, so for this to be at the very top of this kind of genre for compilations this year is quite something. It's Duplock again with Black Tapes 2.0 this time. You know, I was just talking about amazing introductions to compilations with the Nightbase and Confession, and this one, I think, kind of levels up on that. This is one of the best openings that I've heard to a compilation again, but even more so in years. I mean, kicking off with one of the biggest tracks of the whole year, Hamdi Skanker, and then you got The Lost following that, then you got the Chef Boyer beats following that as well. So as an opening triplet that we get here, just sensational, fantastic, and it's super consistent from there. You know, it's not just an opening 3 and then, okay, not great following that. Again, like I said, very, very consistent from there for the rest of the 5 that we get. And you know, it's just not that often for me that 140 dubstep has a really clear idea that is super catchy, that it just runs with and repeats really well over the course of a track. Virtually all of these are infectious as hell. Very easy to get into as a compilation overall, and produced extremely well over the course of the whole thing. Just a load of warm beats with a load of cheeky little motif things going on throughout them. Yeah, a lot of good here, and easily in the top 3 for me for compilations in bass music in 2022. Alrighty, number 2. My pick from a series of remix compilations that have been dropping steadily, regularly over the last kind of year or so, if you will. And yeah, this one for me just standing out head and shoulders above the rest. There is good in the others, don't get me wrong. There is good in the other collections. But this one definitely is elite. It is up there as the best for me in this series. It's Noisier with The Resonance 2. Yeah, like I said, just so much good music on this collection, and especially in comparison with the others in this series, in my opinion. Just such a wide range of genres attempted. Remixes completely transforming the originals, which is quite something in my opinion. You know, these originals are from Noisier, and they're already very accomplished and mastered as they are, but to unleash them and kinda, you know, realize them in different ways completely is quite a feat, I think, and many people achieve it across this this collection in particular, like Matzo, Face, you got Former, Cocktail Party Effect, Holly as well. Just a lot of very good refashionings of the original sounds that we get, like I said, and it makes for a very good compilation overall. The production level is insane, again, especially in comparison with the others that we get in this series. It's just a really good idea, I think, for Noisier to have done this in their final year or so. Just to, you know, give us one final load of music, but through other people, other ways to enjoy their originals that got them to where they are, and made them arguably one of, if not the best group in bass music of all time. Maybe Pendulum aside, but you know what I mean. A lot of good remix material here. It's very worthy of a top 2 spot. But coming in at number 1, my favourite bass compilation of 2022. Just the compilation with the most good tracks on it, really, if I'm being honest and putting it simply and plainly. The most star quality on show. And it is another remix compilation. I told you that it was a big year for remix compilations, and we get one of them being at the very top of the Christmas tree right here. And it's Apache with I Killed the Orchestra remixes. So if you've watched my remixes vid from a couple of days ago that I just put out, you will know that, for one, this has got my favourite remix of the year on it, Sullivan King remix of Never Change. But then beyond that, I literally think every other one pretty much is sensational, whether you're talking about Caracal Project or Night Punk or Sully or Tom Finster, Effin. I mean, pretty much all of them here are fucking sick. They've got something very memorable about them, whether it's a vocal, how that's reworked or particular sounds or ideas. Just the refashioning here of original ideas is absolutely insane. And they're not just any ideas as well. I mean, they're Apache ideas, so a very iconic feel to them, to those original tunes. And again, just the refashioning here, the remixing, it's so good. Breaks to classical stuff to more acoustic stuff. You know, the lighter moments are quite nice as well. All sorts of good lobbed in here, to the extent that the dud moments that we get, because we do get a couple, don't get me wrong, but they are completely drowned out within the 9 tracks that we get here. It's very concise and short, not too many tracks. I think he could have gone way overboard with that and had a few too many, but 9 is just the right amount. And yeah, it's just one of the best remix compilations in bass music in recent memory. Absolutely no doubt. And then beyond that, it is also the compilation of the year. Also no doubt in my mind in saying that. Yeah, there we go. Number 1 comp of 2022. Apache remixes of I Killed the Orchestra. But there we have it, people. My top 15 bass compilations of the year 2022. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching. Now it's time for your input. Let me know what you made of my list. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it somewhere in between? And also let me know what your favourite bass compilations of the year are. Drop it all down below. Let's get the discussion going. And also, just before we leave, EPs coming on Saturday, EPs of the year, with albums and singles following that just after. So make sure that you've subbed and have hit the bell along the way so you're notified whenever one of these videos goes live. Beyond that though, keep it naughty, and if it's naughty, then you know. And I shall see all of you legends in the next one. Peace.